Okay, I'm not shooting my ult anymore, bro. I'm an idiot. There's no way. Yo. Okay. Discord. Okay. Notifications. Yep, they're out now. There, do that. Do that. There we go. Hi everyone, good morning. Hello. Yo, chat. Dude, the last 4 minutes, I was live on my alt account talking to myself, dude. I was like, wait, something's wrong. Dude, I go on my phone and I get a notification that I'm live on my alt account, bruh. Bro, how dumb am I? Hi, Ellie. Hi, Compro. Hello. Yo, what's up, guys? What's up, Doubtless? What's up, Natalie? What's up, Titan? What's up, Guy? Hi, Compro. Wait, I said hi to you already. No, I didn't. Hi, Compro. Hi, Super Gamer. Yo, isn't it like 11 for some of y'all? How do you have class? I gotta go. Peace out, Garrett. Have fun at class. Have fun in class. Have fun in class. Peace out. What's up, Titan? What's up, Mish? Hello. Bob Light, dude. Chat, you know something crazy? Me and Bob were talking about his computer breaking like 3 days ago, right? We're like, oh, so what's gonna happen if like your computer breaks? He goes, oh, I'm probably gonna have to buy a new one. Bro, his computer broke. You know how crazy that is? That's actually insane. What's up, Orbot? Hello. What's up, Donnie Longlegs? Hello. What's up, Vortex Star? Hello. What's up, Fire Charge? Hello. Yes, dude, we talked about, remember we were like, well, we're talking about your account, your Minecraft account, and we're like, oh, like, so what's gonna happen to your Minecraft account if you don't have a, you know, because you don't have it backed up or something? You're like, well, I might just have to buy, I don't know. That was crazy though. That's crazy. Hi, Mr. Woo Woo. Hello. What's up, Green Rider? Hello. Chat, what the, everyone's here right now. What in the world? What in the world, bruh? Why is everyone here right now, chat? Chat, why is everyone here now, chat? MCC Island.net. Wait, Bob. Wait, Bob, come play with me. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I just had to say it. I just had to say it. Like, how did he break it? I have no idea. Thanks for the hydrate, actually. I need some water right now. How is everyone doing? How is everyone's day today, chat? How's everyone's morning? Did y'all already eat food? Did y'all, like, eat or something? What'd y'all do today, chat? I know it's like, what is it, 5 p.m. for some people, 7 p.m. for some people. My day just started like 2 hours ago, so I'm chilling right now. I was supposed to practice with my MC Mayhem team, but I believe they're like busy. So I don't know. I have no idea. When was good? How's yours been? Dude, literally fell asleep at like 10 p.m. yesterday. I woke up today like at 6. Had to do something real quick, and then I went back to sleep for like another 3 hours. So I mean, I've been up since like 9 a.m. Yeah, that's it. That's been my day so far. What about y'all, chat? What about y'all? Morning was good. How's yours been? Yeah, it's good. I've got 1 p.m. Wait, what time is it for some of y'all? It's like different time zones. I forget that exists. I love hearing you're like, oh yeah, it's 1 in the morning for me, but I'm watching on a school night. Like, nice. Chat, don't watch me on a school night, all right? If y'all have to go to sleep, please go to sleep. Like, y'all are risking waking up late. I mean, hey, it's up to y'all, you know? Oh, diamond sword. Nice. I'm also glad that my FPS has been like fixing itself. I don't know. Hi, Rosso. Hello. Welcome to the stream, Rosso. Wait, do I just like rush everyone's thing and get everyone's levies? I think that's the plan, no? Ciao. How do you guys usually play Skybattle? Do y'all play like really passive or what? Yeah, I'm just gonna pick up everyone's levies. Like, hello? Make them not get levies. Wait, what if I just like get everyone's that too? Hold up. That's not the one. That's the one. Okay. Well, chat. Let's go up here. Hold up. Holding. Wait. There we go. Hi, Mikas. Hello. How are you, Mikas? And also, I forgot. Some people have break. Hey, I forgot. Oh my God, bro. Okay, bro. All right, man. Okay, dude. I get it. You want me dead, man. It's really what I'm expecting in my first game on. Okay. I mean, I just got fishing rodded up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, there's someone below me. Okay. Well, how do I win this now? I don't. Do I just have to like rush this guy or what? Okay, dude. Why am I still getting bowed at? Like, nice. All right, we play it smart. We play it smart. We play it smart. I don't think they like the loot goblin. Wait, what's loot goblin? What is that? It's 2:36 for me. 3 p.m. 8:36. It's 2:36 for me. Oh my God. Wait, so I'm like streaming at like a good time for everyone, right? So 11 a.m. is a good time for me to stream. Should I stream earlier than this or nah? Nah, because I feel like earlier is just like not even good for the NA people. Because I'm streaming like prime time for NA as well. It's like 2 p.m. for people. People are just getting out of school. Because winter break is until like October, right? Oh, this guy's the one that came after me. Nah, bro. Like, why, bro? Okay, my steak didn't eat. Nice. Hello, it's not eating. Okay. Well, I might be screwed here. I might be screwed here, chat. Hi, Mickey. Hello. December for me? Oh, there you go. Wait. I have a plan. This might not work. My team above me? It is. Wait, is that yellow? Wait. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, wait. I forgot I have a go-to teammate. Like, W teammate. Wait, I forgot my teammate's actually really good at this game. Hi, Jack. What's up with Mysterious, CCS, and P-Tweet, Grandpa? Jack, I can't tell you on stream, Jack. I literally cannot tell you on stream. If you want to know, ask here. Actually, what the hell am I saying? Never mind. I can't say anything. No, I'm not. You know what? I'm not telling you. I am not telling you about it, Jack. I'm not going to tell you. Just know that there will be a Color Christmas Piece season 3. What? What the hell? It's 6 degrees Celsius right now. I'm literally wearing gloves, bro. What? It's 81 degrees for me right now. I think. The last time I checked, it was 81. 81 degrees at 11:41 in the afternoon. Is that crazy? Ugh. I don't know. Like those comfy ones that turn into mittens. Yo, I wish. What is, yo, what in the hell, bro? What is wrong with people? Actually, like, wow. Hello, Ink's Fave Kit. Hello. Wait, chat, I told you guys, right? A new upload this Saturday, I believe. Yeah, there'll be upload this Saturday and also next Saturday already. Yo, Phantom King. Hello. Thanks to follows. Hola. I might open up song requests tonight. Today, not tonight. Why did I say tonight? It's 11:41. What? Am I good? I could do a long stream. But I want to go to the gym today. Chat, should I go to the gym today or nah? Should I just skip gym day? After I told myself that I was going to go? I should just skip gym day, right? And just play Minecraft? I think that's the move. That might actually be the move. Skip gym. Skip gym. And then, like, just sweat Minecraft. Because then, like, technically speaking, I'd be, like, sweating still. Without actually going to the gym. Wait, hold on. What's up, Deathwalks? Hello? All right, man. Dude. Bro scared me. W song as well. Okay. I thought that was a... Okay. 6 homing orbs. Huh. Why is it 84 degrees where I'm at? Chat, how hot is it for everyone right now? Yo, this guy looks scary, bruh. Okay, I need to do this. Go up there, teammate. Get up there. 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 And then we're gonna like so many kills here. Yep. 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 Please. Yes. Please land. No. I just felt that. Oh no. Oh no. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Hey, O'Brien. Oh, he's dead. I just want to rock. Is that a Lil Uzi? That's a Lil Uzi song. Compro, you're my team. Hi, Compro. Okay, what is just fine. Damn it. Nice. Wait, that TNT like almost like killed him. This guy has to be low, right? Knew it. Okay. I'm obsessed with the Qndres design you made. Wait, who's? Yo, by the way, yeah, also, y'all been going crazy with my art, bruh. Yo, I actually like, oh my, dude. It's been crazy with my art. Insane. I don't know how y'all do art. I can't do it. I literally can't. I suck at art. I think I told you guys a story that when I was in high school, my teacher told me literally basically to quit art. Like the nicest way possible to tell me to quit. Yo. All right. Didn't know there was punch pose. Yo, didn't that guy die earlier or did he not? Yo, your favorite Rat King. Thanks for the raid. How was your stream? What were you streaming? Can we get a shout out for your favorite Rat King? Okay. All right, Raiders, hello. I'm dead. I'm just dead. Do y'all see my ping? Do y'all see what I deal with every day? Yo, where do I hear him at? Oh, nice. Okay, I shot him. Hello, your favorite Rat King. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. I was just stream, by the way. I was just stream. Okay, it was great. Nice. Love to hear it. I'm glad your stream was good. No, I died. Rip, dude. It's ghost block. It's when you place with offhand blocks. Yep, I swear I see like multiple streamers do the offhand block thing, and it's always me that just like gets lagged back. I don't even know. Is it because I'm from California? That has to be a thing, right? Surely that's a thing. That's definitely a thing, right? No way I get it too. Oh, because look at my ping. I think I get like 100 ping to the server. Let's see. Yeah, I got 99 ping to the server. It's like an East Coast ping for me. I don't know. It's whatever though. It's whatever. We can't. It's fine. It's fine. Minecraft hates. No, MCCI hates people from California. No, I'm playing. I get 150. Damn. What the hell? That's a lot. Never mind. And I'm over here complaining about 100. I know people that have like 50 ping. That's weird. Also, I love the idea for a hat like that merch. Wait, what? Wait. Who's Jack? Who's art you talking about? I'm confused. I'm confuzzled. Also, hi Bees Buzz, hello. I'm sorry I didn't side you. And hi Mika's, hello. I play by hiding or following that sweat on my team and I lose. Oh. Wait, Mika's, you play MCCI too? No way. No way. Who's in first place? Oh my god. 16 wins. Okay. Daily 16 wins? I feel like that has to be like 16 wins is a lot of wins. Jesus. Is it working out? No, TTS still doesn't work. I might disable it. But do I have a mod in chat? Can you guys disable that TTS? I don't know why it doesn't work. I'm just gonna disable it for now. Sorry. By the way, this definitely has to be like ranked, right? They're definitely gonna add a rank. There ain't no way. Is it not already off? Well, it's the, like you can still like waste your points, but I mean, you know. I'm from EU, damn. Oh, or bots right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, Jack. The next merch line that I drop, it's gonna be like completely it's gonna be completely like I'm gonna take a bunch of time and like actually putting effort and like just sweating my life on this merch if I ever drop it again. Because I have some ideas in mind, but I want to make sure that they're you know, gonna be W designs. Also, chat, I'm also 1,000 away from 30k, so please sub to my YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. I love that Vine, or that, I think it's like a Facebook marketplace like meme. Chat, y'all ever just spend your lifetime on Facebook marketplace? Is that just me because I'm old? I don't actually do that. I was trolling. Or do I? I don't know. Yes, sponsored by Shopify. Oh, wait, hold up. Yeah, but then like, I don't know. I want like an actual clothing line that has like good quality merch, you know? Synoptics. Hi, Synoptics. Olge. Okay. Wait, is the Olge not a thing? Synoptics, do you want access to my 7TV? Synoptics, I feel like you'd be like amazing for 7TV. Look at this, ready? Look at these NPC kills right here. Hello? Please eat steak. Please eat steak. Hello. Thank you. W creeper. I mean W cobwebs. Okay, we got. Cool. I'm gonna go play Geometry Dash. Oh no, not a Geometry Dash sweat, bruh. No way. There's a Geometry Dash sweat in my. No way. Have you beat that hardest level yet or nah? Yeah, what's the oldest? What the oldest? What the hell? Yeah, what's the oldest? Like, what am I saying? I'm probably the oldest right now. I'm 24, bruh. Am I old? Am I old? Actual old. Yes. Okay. Well, bro, why do I even ask? Yes. Okay. Yo, chill, bruh. Oh, yo, huh? Yo, how did they do that? Oh, my whole team's here. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, hopefully that works. Boink. What? Okay, so I can't do like that. What this? Okay, well, never mind. VO with a tier 3. VO, thank you so much for the tier 3. Oh my god, yo, tier 3 subber. Hey, hi VO, hello, hi VO, hello. Yo, I'm a big fan. Hi VO, hello VO, hi VO, hi VO, hi VO. By the way, yo, I didn't tell you guys this, but dude, so many people on Twitter gave me like W like DMs. That was crazy. I got so many W. I just missed that. Okay. Can I like? I'm gonna try something. Oh, it didn't work. Homie. Just run, just run, just run. Like, do y'all see what I did? Oh, we win. Okay, cool. GG. Okay, I got a little scared there. I'm not gonna lie. I just panicked a little bit, but it's fine. Yo, Mickey. VO, thank you so much for the tier 3. I appreciate you. Thank you, VO. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm gonna go play Geometry Dash. Yeah. All right. Good luck with your games. Peace out, Rosso. French keyboard. Wait, you're French? No way. Wait, I got instantly to a game. Why is everyone okay? There's no one playing this game mode. 19 people. What the? Okay. I guess, okay. That's chill. I guess. I've never seen a 19-player Sky Battle game. Never mind. Make that 16 players. Wait. Can everyone leave? Oh, never mind. GG's. Back to the lobby. I'm French and Yellow booed me for it. Well, Bully yellow for being yellow. Thoughts? Wait, I love yellow. Wait, Vortex, you're in my game. I see you. Vortex, how many wins do you have on Sky Battle? Do you sweat with yellow? You're definitely a sweat, aren't you? Booster is bullying every French person. Well, Booster can't bully anyone because Booster is 5'2". Booster is short king. Yo, if Booster's ever trying to roast you or something, just call him short. Easy. This guy, yo, this guy, I tower him, chat. I'm literally like 6 foot. He's 5'4". Okay. He was literally my arm. What's it called? My resting arm place, bro. I was literally just putting my arm on top of his head the whole time. Booster's 5'2". He's 5'4". Yep. By the way, some of you guys know, but I'm the only one that's bet Booster so far. Easy. Easy. We went to a restaurant together. It was really fun and really cozy. Okay. Okay, just... Oh, now we run, huh? Bye. Easy chat, easy clap. Here we go. Easy clap, easy clap. Kidding. That wasn't easy. That was really hard. Forgive me. Okay. Is that a Waluigi skin? Am I tripping out? I think that is a Waluigi skin. How do I just like go for the jump here and then power bow? Son of a... I hate power bow games. It's just not fun. Just get bow spam at the end. I can't call Booster short. I'm literally shorter than him. Wait, how tall are you? You can't be shorter than Booster, bro. But it's fine. W music, by the way. Holy. Okay. Please be a levy potion. Never mind. Bro, I miss Bobblue. Bobblue, hurry up and get your PC, bro. Let's play Minecraft again. Yo. Do I... Am I allowed to be mad there? I can't wait, what? I can't... I can't... There you go. Chat, am I allowed to like be mad at that situation or not? Literally, I can, right? My blocks just disappear. Like, what? My blocks just disappear. I can hear myself. Chill, Qndres, chill. Chill. I don't know, bro. Do I just go play parkour? Something where I don't lag in? I'll play like a couple more and then I'll go play parkour. All right. We'll do that. Right, gonna say while watching the stream goes hard. W. Booster, I heard you're bullying French people. Is this true, Booster? This is true, Booster. You're bullying people. You're bullying French people. Unfollow B1. Wait, Booster, if you unfollow B1, never mind. Don't unfollow B1. Chat, everyone call Booster short, please. Chat, everyone call Booster short now. Yeah, true. Always with a sweat message. Booster, I love you. Yo, take me out of dinner, bro. Oh, this guy's just dead. Wait, he ate a regen potion. Wait, there's literally a guy on me. Oh my god, Vortex, start getting him. Well, I gotta eat. Actually, I'm not gonna eat the gapple. We can kill him. We can kill these guys. I just need like a better sword. Perfect. Run, just run vortex, run vortex, run vortex. Yeah. Yeah, W teammate. Okay, this guy's just lagging. Thank you for your stuff. Creeper blow up. Thank you. I ain't giving you a dollar. Bush, what are you doing right now? 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 You busy? You busy? You busy? You busy? Are you gonna upload soon? Are you gonna upload soon? Are you gonna upload soon? Booster, when's your next upload, bro? Come on now. Booster, if I upload this Saturday, you gotta upload this Saturday too. And it cannot be a freaking VOD, bruh. VODs don't count as being uploaded. I literally uploaded a VOD yesterday or today in the morning. It does not count. VODs do not count. Chat, do VODs count as videos? No, right? No way. Quit bowing me, bro. You're a bozo. You smell like cheese. It's the same guy, dude. When are you gonna upload something that isn't a manhunt? I actually uploaded yesterday that isn't a manhunt. GG. And it's VOD. Okay, wait, fuck. I literally just talked about VODs not being videos. Okay, nice. Can they make it so like creepers don't get targeted to me, please? Thanks. I ain't giving you a dollar. Okay. Blood. What is blood doing? My teammate, you're gonna die. There's a guy above me, I think. Go. Oh, that guy's just dead. Yo, creeper wants me dead. Okay, we're still alive somehow. Chat, we're not gonna say a word, okay? We ain't gonna say. We ain't gonna say a word, chat. We ain't gonna say a word. Oh my god, help! Help! Hello, Jelly Smarty Pants. Hello. Help! And now we go up. And we're gonna kill this guy here. Nice. Are you freaking serious right now, bro? Are you freaking serious right now? Oh my god, bro. I swear, Hawkid. You know what? I'm gonna play some parkour. I'm playing parkour, bro. Something, dude. No, I can't. I just can't right now. I can't PvP. I gotta do something that I'm better at, which is Parkour Warrior. I can beat everyone at Parkour Warrior. No troll. I'm trolling. I actually can't beat anyone in parkour. Okay. Love drinking apple and pear sparkling juice while watching Qndres stream. You know what the best sparkling water there is? It's the I think it's hold on. Black cherry sparkling water. That one is just amazing. Do you guys like the black cherry one? Oh my. Wanna play Dynaballs? Is that game not even fun? Yeah, Booster, can you upload a video? Pleading emoji. Yo, what's wrong with me, bro? What is wrong with me? What's wrong with me, chat? Are you sitting right? Yeah, I'm sitting crisscross applesauce. I always sit in my chair. It's bow PvP. Yeah, but the bows like have like a tilting motion to go down. Like the arrows go down. You know what I mean? Oh, this guy got the... Okay, I see. It's fine. I'm writing an essay on Stanley Morrisseau. At least... Wait, that I forgot I had to write. Damn. What mob are you voting for? I don't know. Chat, what mob should I vote for? I might vote for the dolphin. Yeah. It's a new mob that's going to get added to Minecraft that you guys haven't seen yet. It's a fourth mysterious option. And although it's already in Minecraft, they're just gonna make a whole new one, a whole new dolphin. They're reworking the dolphin. No, I'm just kidding. Probably the crab. Crab. What are y'all voting for, chat? Surely the crab, right? Surely you guys are voting for the crab. Yeah. I wanted to get first there, but I guess I couldn't get first. Vote for whales. True, though. Well, you're actually cooking. I could just vote for the whale, the fourth option, whales. Do you think Minecraft will ever add whales? Probably not, right? Well, I'm not sure if you guys know, but Kier said that he'll be fine if they add orcas. That counts as a whale. So, I mean, hey. If there's ever an orca whale on the mob vote list, y'all know what to vote for. Wait, that's actually super trippy. Damn, bro, this guy neurodivergent's really good at parkour. They got in first, like the last 3. Damn. If they add orcas, they have to add sharks then. But they won't add sharks, right? Okay. Wait, neurodivergent's really mad that I got first there for sure. They're really mad. They're really mad. Wait, what does that even mean, chat? What does that mean? What does a neurodivergent mean? Can someone give me a definition, please? And use it in a sentence. Oh my god. Yeah, also sit seating, so follow. I appreciate it. Oh my, I got debated. I just actually got debated. Wow. Window parkour. I love it. Oh, by the way, chat, you guys know this Saturday there's a Minecraft event, by the way. MC Mayhem this Saturday. There's actually so much that's happening this Saturday. Wait, I'm actually happy about this Saturday. I'm gonna be mad busy on. I'm gonna be really busy on Saturday. Oh, I'm not doing the. I'm not risking it just to like skip something. Wait, what? Is that how you do those jumps? Wait, how do you do those jumps? What? Wait, what? Oh, I'm just dead. GG's. Hi, Coldy. ¿Cómo estás, Coldy? ¿Cómo estás? How are you, Coldy? Hello? Coldy, I suck at parkour, bro. I suck at parkour. I'm doing horrible. I suck at parkour. What? No, you don't, bro. You literally won an event, bro. You literally won an event with parkour. What do you mean you suck at parkour? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, Coldy. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I'm the GOAT. Yeah, bro. You are the GOAT. You are the GOAT. Dude, I've learned how to PvP some more from you. Like the uppercuts, I never knew how to do that. So I watched I forgot who you, I think it was, who did you duel? You dueled someone. You were doing someone, and I was watching the whole thing. So I got better at doing uppercuts. Yeah. ADHD, that's like, oh, I see. Oh, okay. I see. Synoptics. I'm thinking about doing a PvP guide. Oh my god, yo, YouTube video? Easy, 1 million views, W? Wait, who else have you trained in PvP? Any like, did you train Spreen, or who trained Spreen, huh? Definitely you, right? Oh, not yet? Are you gonna? Okay. You just have crazy movement, bro. I'm trying to. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, you know, I trained nobody. Wait, cold to fight. Are you cracked on 1.8 though? It's so cold. I put a hot water bottle in my IKEA whale plush and I'm just clutching it. I'm like trying to choke it. Wait. So it's really cold out then for you? No? I'm above average. Okay. Okay, one sec. I need to clutch this up. Please. You're trolling, bro. I was literally in front of him. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I mean, I would say I'm like decent. I would say like I'm B tier. I would say like I'm C tier at 1.8 PvP. Not like B tier. There's obviously people that are 10 times better than me, but I could definitely hold my weight at 1.8. I don't know. But at 9 PvP and above, I would say like I'm a D tier. D tier, bro. There's people that are actually nuts to the game. Like what is my movement? I have like NPC movement. It is really frustrating when you suck. Okay, like, dude. Like, I love Minecraft so much that this game is amazing. All right, cool. And I'm not quitting until I beat the best. Cool. Also, hello, BG Music was hard. Wait, what's BG Music? Who is that? I got 500k coins on MCCI, bro. Sweat. All right, bye, Goldie. Adios. Adios, Goldie. Have fun dinner. Have a good dinner. Yeah. Wait, who's better, you or Foray? Sorry, what an ass then now. Liz, why are you green? Wait, what do you mean? What? Peace out, Vortex. Peace out. I'll be here for like, I don't know how long I'm gonna stream for. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how long. Let me actually text my friends because they wanted to go to the gym. I might just go by myself later on at night. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Starish. Hello. Hi. Welcome to the stream. I am NPC at Minecraft and I suck at Minecraft. And I'm just kidding. I don't suck at Minecraft. I'm probably like the best player. Hashtag humble. Look at my movement, bro. Look at my movement. You cannot say that I'm not the best. Like, look at that movement, chat. Holy. Wait. Let me guess. I'm not the first one that has told you that your name looks like Starfish. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Wait, I'm actually fake. Oh, okay, good. So people... Oh! Well, the thing for me as well, though, is that I have, like, horrible vision, right? So my eyes tend to look like L's, but why am I saying that? Oh, never mind. Hi, we choke on milk. Hello. Thanks to follow Zenyoda. Oh my god, I suck at parkour. Please help. Help. Please. Yeah. Can't wait for you to sell and check what champion. Take my hat out. I don't want my hat. Hi, Soul. Soul, you're gonna lose this Saturday. Smiley face. Nah, that's crazy. Yo. Yeah, Soul, you're gonna lose. Exclamation point. Smiley face. Yo, I'm so fake. I'm just kidding. I'm probably gonna lose. We're supposed to practice it with my team, but I don't know where. I think they're busy, low key. Low key, they're definitely like very, very busy. Are we talking about the name tags? Wait, what? Oh, I'm guessing like Twitch name tags, right? Can everyone change their name to purple, please? My team is. Wait, we need skins right now. Wait. Chat, I need someone to make me a duck onesie, please. Please, smiley face. Ba, 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 ba. Stu played PvP. I know, I heard. Was he just sweating that? By the way, yo, Booster, I'm literally taking the whole duck thing. I'm taking it as a thing. Yo, you guys have given me like different names and I'm taking them, bro. Duck. That's like a thing for me now. I just love ducks. I mean, I always liked ducks. I always wanted a pet duck, but I mean, no way, bro. Sweating, bro. We trained once, I think, together. We suck. Nah, definitely though. If we VOD reviewed Mayhem, we probably would have gotten way better. But we didn't VOD review at all, and the maps are brand new, pretty much. Hello, Qndres. Hello. How are you, Qndres? How was your day today? Also, hello, Zen Yoda. I'm not sure if I said thank you for the follow, but thank you for the follow. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Yo, I was watching FaZe Ray, I think it was. Dude, she is crazy. Sorry, he's crazy. My fault. Dude, he was going crazy with the parkour. His back was it back like this? No, like this. Yo, I cannot do that. Oh. Okay, well, I can't do it as well. I couldn't carry such a bad team. Bro, Booster, I carried you, bro. Well, actually, no, you carried me, but it's fine. You carried me. But you carried me by like 20 points, bro. You literally carried me by 20 points. Nice placement, bro. Bro, I'll get first right here. No cap. Okay, well, I don't know where I'm going. Fuck. I can't concentrate with this music as well. This music sucks. But it's only stream available, you know? Okay, nice. Go, don't battle. Okay, that is literally the goal, though. Don't bottom frag. Yo, wait, hold on. I have Wolfie, Greninja, and O Garfield. Wait, so you know O Garfield more. Are they good? Are they like W? You're doing decent? Okay. Yeah, Stuart, I mean, listen, Stuart Greninja plays Minecraft 24/7, so yeah. Oh, if it's good. So is our team like actually just like crazily cracked then? People like actually being serious about our team being like, how is it allowed type of deal? Is that jump possible, by the way? I don't think so. Ooh, look. Bam. Please. Oh my god, I love Minecraft too much. Oh my god, I love Minecraft even more. Wait, Booster, you aren't speaking after I got second place that run right there. Can we get a poll going? Who's better at parkour, me or Booster? I think I'm better than Booster at parkour. Ogar probably top frag. Wait, really? Wait, so there's like a, okay, well, obviously you're playing too, but okay, if you weren't playing, would you say we would definitely do like really good, our team? Oh, Mayhem? I'm bottom fragging? Nah, bro, I ain't bottom fragging. What do you mean? Okay. Ogar is ass. He lost Pandora's. Yo! Is there some beef going on here, Booster? Easy. By 3 points. Damn. Either you or Wolfie bottom frag, probably. Really? Mads. Thank you, Mads. It could be a top place team or bottom place team. Yeah. Wait, is everyone struggling? Oh no, it's just okay. Hi, Mads. Thank you for this sub. Appreciate you. Jack, give me W's in chat for Mads, please. Everyone at Mads, say W. I'd say. Wait, who's Alex? Is that O Garfield's name? Wolfie. Bro leaked Wolfie's name. GG. Yeah, we're definitely gonna VOD review. I think. I think me and Sork probably gonna VOD review. I'm asking if he wants to VOD review tomorrow morning, maybe. I'm not busy tomorrow morning, so probably tomorrow morning. Chat, would you guys want a VOD review stream with Greninja? Thoughts? Maybe even Wolfie in there, our whole team. Thanks for lurking. I really appreciate you. Leaking public information. W. Wait, y'all should leak my name too. I'll give you guys $500 if you guys leak my first name. Oh, did you really, Zenyoda? Damn. Okay, so we don't really need him to VOD review with us. Oi. You know what? No, I need a good song right now. I need a W song. Oh. Yeah, no, this song is not good. This song's mid. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oi. I messed up. I've actually done fricked up. I think I actually just threw that for myself. Hello? Prob dead. Oh my god, I'm so good. I'm so good. We stack it. What? Huh? Did I really get you baited there? Wait. Oh, and I just lose this. Slow and steady wins the race, chat. Barry Louise. Hello, Barry Louise. No way you're good at this game, bro. Bro. Oh, yeah. I love Minecraft a lot, and I really hope it's like gonna succeed in 10 years. Oh, yep. I really love Minecraft. Yo, Creek. Hello. I love Minecraft, and I wish this game really heavily existed. Yep. I just love the game. I just love the game, and I fiend for Minecraft every night before I sleep. Make a great escape. Oh, oh, not this freaking snake. Not the snake, please. Not the snake. Whee! Wait. The throw. You're not the king. I am the king. Yo, I'm such a W. Hi, Jams. Long time no see. Yo, Jams, how have you been? Hello. Hi, Jams. Muted for talks. Wait, am I actually? Is that actually bad? Wait, can I actually not say that? GG's. Wait, that actually can be toxic, couldn't it? Wait, I didn't think about it like that. Oh no, I'm a bozo head. Been good, just busy with work. I see. Yeah, most people have been coming in telling me that either busy with school or busy with work. It's all right though. It's all right though. I'm still here. Done for, canceled. Yep. GG. Telling someone that I'm the king. Yep. Banned from events. Freaking $1 million in debt. I don't even know. What's up, Be Happy? Hello. How are you? Be Happy. Be Happy 725847. Yo, why those numbers? Why do you have a dynamite in your hand, Con Pro? You're scaring me, bro. You're scaring me, Con Pro. Con Pro, where you at, bro? How do you get my tripping? Did it? I swear I pressed tab and you were on top 5, but you were top 5 on there. Okay. Oh my, yo. Oh my god. Shh, dude. Oh my. Wait, don't these like reset though after like a month? Yeah. Oh my god. Hi Natalie, welcome back. I gotta redo one of my VODs. Or just like redo the thumbnail for one of the VODs. Which also, chat, y'all should check out the new VOD that came out yesterday. Or tonight in the morning. What am I saying, bro? I'm watching your team in pink. Wait, who's pink team? I'm literally Bozo. I forget. It's gonna be fun. I think our team is like the sweatiest. Also, I also applied for Crown Quest as well. I think that's what it's called. Hopefully I can get that one too. I want to get in so many events. I love events. Oh, kill awesome. Yeah, I see. Bye, Jams. Peace out. Oh, damn. When's the event? It's this Saturday. This Saturday. Chat, if I get first place, I'll give $1 million to the first person that says 1735. The fuck am I saying, bro? Yo. My name is Qndres. I'm the first person that's become broke. Yo, that's crazy. Natalie, you're about to get $1 million this Saturday if I win. Sponsored by I don't know who. Which one? Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Are you serious right now, bro? There you go. Sponsored by my retirement home, literally. Hello, how are you, NF? Okay, I'm gonna play my favorite song right now. The good song. What's it called? It's called This is the song. We gotta parkour now. Let's get it. Okay. Oh. Okay. Bro, we really just said let's do better and just died the first. Okay. I'm chilling. I don't understand how people die the first like parkour. I mean, maybe they're AFK, but I swear there's always like one person dead the first round. Wait, I'm actually gonna die here too because I'm throwing. I'm good. I'm chilling. Let's get this one done real quick though. I love Minecraft. Checkpoint champion king. Bro, what am I doing, bro? All right, let's take it slow. All right, cool. I love paper planes, Jack. Just like I love you. Okay, well. I swear it's only some parkour jumps that I suck at. Go. Okay. Cool. All right, we sort of made a little comeback. Never mind. We did make a comeback. Look at cool. Bonjour, parlez français, mais je m'appelle Qndres. Comment ça va? Super bien. I love Minecraft. How do you say I love Minecraft in French? Sus. I don't even know what I'm saying, bro. I love this game so much. But I don't lose this, right? Go. Yo, Numi, thanks for the raid. How was your stream? Hello, raiders. Welcome to the stream. My name is Qndres and I love Minecraft. What the yo? That's actually really weird. Saying I love Minecraft as my first. Hey guys, I love Minecraft. Nerd emoji. I love Minecraft. Okay. Qndres, how are you? Dude? I'm doing great. How are you? Wait, Numi, were you also playing MCCI? How was your MCCI stream? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun playing MCCI? Or did you want to like rip all your hair out just like I want to right now? I love playing Minecraft with French as yeah, man, you are Minecraft. And how do you say I love dev? Good job, Andre. I just spilled water all over my fucking keyboard. How does it happen? How do I just spill water all over myself, bro? Fine, we're chilling. It's like all over my shirt, but it'll dry off. I have my AC on. I'm having fun trying to get good at Minecraft, Lamau. Hey, look at me too. I'm horrible. Wait, what is this server? It's a server where you have to pay like $5 every day to log on. Yeah. Where is he? Good question. I don't. You'll see on this. You'll see this Saturday. Actually, yeah, this Saturday. You'll see this Saturday in a video that I recorded with my friends. Smiley face. Yes, I recorded a video with my friends. I have friends. Okay. BRB Andre sounds good. Yo, I thought that was water. But yo, chat. By the way, how is the music? Is the music fine? Is the music chill? Or is it like a little too loud? Hydrate more. I got you. Is it like? Is it loud or is it like? Is it like? Is it loud or is it like? Is it like good? You know? Is it like loud or is it just good? Spicy. Yo, spice dog. Spice dog. Chat, is this real? Nah, chat, I'm fake. Chat, I'm fake. I'm mad fake, spicy. Okay. All right, spicy. Spice dog. Yo, red slime king. Hello. It's good. Oh, how you love Minecraft. So sus. Yo, what's good, bro? I'm good. Just chilling. Yo, are you done taking a break on Minecraft? Are you gonna come back to Minecraft or what's going on, huh? Watching this nerd? Wait, what's his name? Who's that nerd's name? I don't know what you're talking about. You need to pay the... Yeah, you gotta pay $100 a day to play the server. That's how I'm like mad rich and paying $100 every single day. Yo, I've actually heard that servers... There's like some servers that you actually have to like pay money to get like at least good at the game, right? Like pro 1,000 armor and stuff. Because if you don't pay, then you get like nothing. Honestly, I might just open up a server like that. Easy. Hey, so you're rich, trying to drive me to my house and take me to dinner then? I mean, what's out to dinner? Yo. Okay. Oh, hi, Joker. Hello. How are you, Joker? How was your day today, Joker? How was your Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday? How's your Tuesday, Monday? Yo! Oh yeah, Italian sausage from Cheesecake Factory. Yo, speaking of Cheesecake Factory, I actually want to go to Cheesecake Factory again. I went like last time in January. That shit was actually fire. Kind of wanted it again. Like first time in Cheesecake Factory. Okay. It's Monday. Oh, it is Monday. Oh, I hate this freaking snake one. Oh, song's good. Cool. We should hang high key though, bro. Down. Hello, Shambleton. Hello. How are you, Shambleton? I want to get into place, dude. This wait, Spicy, what are you doing this Saturday? This Saturday there's a Mexico game. I mean, it's not really like, because I want to go to the, okay, so Mexico plays Mexico plays, what do they play? They play someone in LA soon. Want to go watch them in person? It's like Cheesecake Factory is like the thing you eat for like a birthday. You don't really go there just to eat there. It's like really expensive, my opinion. Well, no, this Saturday Mexico plays Ghana, but no one wants to watch that one. Everyone wants to watch either Mexico, Germany, but that's also like far. I don't know. Let's go watch a soccer game though. Mike left the room. Good. I love cats. Did I get a cat, chat? Yo, chat, 1 retweet and I get a cat. Thoughts? Well, Mexico, Germany is in, I forgot where. It's not in Cali. Not in Cali. What's up, Gabe? How are you, Gabe? Wait, someone just really, wait, someone just glitched that jump. I suck at this game. Get off. Yeah, chat, 1 retweet and I will get better at the game. Cool. I see you got that jump easy. Woo-wee! Oh no, not this one. Wait, I actually got that first try or second try, I guess. GG. Send the tweet. No, I can't buy a cat. I can't buy a cat. Wait, are turtles easy to take care of? Thoughts on me buying a turtle? Yo, what if I have a 24-hour camera on a turtle? Thoughts? Yo. Wait, I win. Huh? They live for exactly. Dude, wait. Wait a second, dude. I just thought of a crazy idea. Chat, I buy a turtle. I obviously it has to live in a little like place, right? I make a place for it. I put a 24/7 camera for it, and it's like 10 bits, and it releases lettuce, so it dropped itself. Dude, that turtle will be living rent free. I do need at least 4 turtles. Yo, I've seen like those duck cams on Twitch. Yo, they go crazy, bro. It's like 1/4 and you feed a duck. And you can like overfeed ducks. Wait, are they live right now? Let's actually check. Hold on. I don't want to hear that. Hold on, chat. Wait. Wait. Oh, they're cleaning the pond right now. Never mind. We can't clean it. Never mind. Save the ducks. Yo, how much do you think it would be to like escape a duck? Yo. What am I saying, bro? Yo, bro. Move. Bro. Okay. What if it was like on the description, $300 and we'll let the duck go. Yo. Hi, Grace. Say hello. Surprise there? Yeah. Bro, there were so many sweats on Parkour when it came out first. I remember when Parkour came out, yo, Everyone was playing parkour. No one was playing sky battle. Everyone was on parkour. It's crazy. All right, Neffy, hello. Don't lose to me, please. Bet. If I win, you gotta get 5 subs. Thoughts? Okay. I love Minecraft. I love it. I love it. Wait, chat, did I tell you guys that I got a noise complaint from my neighbors? Bro, what do they do? Kick me from my house, bro? No. They're like, yeah. Because I was recording a video. I guess I was yelling at my hunter. I was like, yo, 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 you know, like that. And apparently they heard me yelling. Like, oh, we just wanted to make sure that Qndres was okay. I'm like, bro, always you're talking to me, bro. It's whatever, chat. I guess can't be loud in my own house. Chat, what would you do if you had a noisy neighbor? Would you actually be mad or nah? I mean, I guess you would be. Never mind. It's literally a dumb question. Well, what if you... Oh my, I did double, oh my god, double quad jump, W. Me, Sandwich and Carter would all fight over the top daily. You guys are actual sweats. Actual sweats. Wouldn't be met. Chat. Actually, no. Chat, how does one get partner on Twitch without... Actually, no. I want to get partner, bro. I just want... Give me... Chat, can I just get partner? Can someone in chat give me partner, please? Yo, Twitch staff, if you're in chat, give me Twitch partner, please, now. And I'll go to TwitchCon next year. I mean, this year. Even if I get... By the way, I'm not sure if y'all know the chat, but even if I get Twitch partner, like now, like right now, this day, I still won't have it for the convention. It's really weird. Last year, someone got partner and they still had affiliate. Wouldn't it be... I don't know. It was really weird. Really, really weird. Wait, check milk. If you win this, I don't know. You're W, I guess. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. Oh. Wait, I'm literally dead. Wait, no way, bruh. No way I fall in that hole. Wait, I'm actually... Wait. I just lose this now, right? What are the chances I fall in that hole? I'm fine, I think. I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good. Turn back time to the good old days. Easy. Okay. It's fine. Let me just grind this month of Twitch and hopefully I grow. And still doing YouTube videos and going crazy on events. Oh, I love this game, bro. I was stressed out. Ah, oh, frick me. Frick me again. Frick me. Yo, how do I disable damage still? Turn that thing off. Turn that game off. Turn that thing off. I hate damage still. Yo, whose idea was it to add damage still? Oh, it's in Minecraft, right? Damn, I'm an idiot. It's fine, I died. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. What? I don't know. It just... It's on by default. I don't know. Wait, let me try Sky Battle now. Hold up. Let me try Sky Battle now. Let's see how that works. Let's see how Sky Battle works now with no damage tilt. What? Oh. Let's see. God damn it, chat. I've got to go. My internet is being a piece of shit. So stream is not even loading. Bye, B-Wine. Bye. Adios. I'll get better. Wait, try just... Actually, no. Well, I believe there's a way to make it my Twitch stream audio only. Qndres, tell you... Okay. I will tell Yellow he's an NPC. Chat, you guys understand the amount of times that people have told me, they're like, yo, why is Yellow so mean to me? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Yo, Yellow, stop being mean to people. Fine, I'll tell him. I'll tell him. Apparently, like, really toxic to people. I will. Okay, bro, Da Vinci, I will, bro. Wow. Okay. Cool. Oh, dead. Bedrock IQ. I don't think that's a good thing. This guy right here, bro. Where'd he go? Help. Ahem. Okay. He hacked me the other day. Listen, take anything that Yellow tells you with a grain of salt. That's all I really can say. I can't really speak too much, but just really don't. Yeah, I've told people don't really worry what he says. It's fine. Okay. Just know that he doesn't actually mean the things he says. Okay. It's hard to say it. I think he is probably muted. Let's low key. It's fine. We win this game now. We win this game. Why am I getting meow at? Who meowed at me? Wait, did this show? Yeah, someone definitely meowed at me, right? Hi. ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. ¿Cómo estás? I want to learn how to do that one fruit berries thing. Why? Why? You know what I'm talking about? You know the fruit berries technique where he does this and he goes, and there's one behind him as well. I can show you what you wanna be. Nice shot, Qndres. Missing every shot. Almost every shot. Okay. No, Venua. Yo, Venua. I'm gonna meow, and I'm gonna meow very intensely. I'm not even trolling. Yo, what's wrong with me, yo? We're not safe and sound. No, we're not. Venu. Okay, we won this for sure. What's the name of this song? Safe and Sound by Capital Sky City. Capital Cities, yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Nobody can. No, I'm not gonna be mean. Okay. Chat, we're chilling. I'm not gonna be mean. Like, that's the jump I want to learn how to do. Oh, lay pushing. Oh, a diamond sword. I'm such a team hog, it's crazy. Okay. If Qndres wins, he has to meow. Deal. Why'd I just deal my own thing? Okay, it's fine. It's chill, it's chill. Let's get to... Okay. I don't know how to work these things. Like, what? Eh! Wait, bitch has not been gotten yet? Okay. And it's literally a useless... Okay. Alright. Who's first? This guy's first. Boink, boink. That didn't do anything. No, dude. Nah, bro. Wait, actual W orb, okay. Wait, Joker, do you like Eden? Do you know who Eden is? No, it's not Eden, it's actually artist. Nah, bro. Wait, that's a thing? Oh my god. How'd he do that? Oh, I'm just dead here. Not. Okay. No, EDEN, like an actual artist. He's singing this song right now. Okay. Bro. I'm dead. I love Minecraft so much. Yo, I'm actually trolling chat. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Meow, 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 meow. There. Wait, I was supposed to meow if I didn't win. If I did... Ugh. Yikes. Big yikes for myself. Okay. Well, it's fine. Y'all really got a free meow. There you guys go. Oops. I guess I'm watching TikToks right now. Hello, Z-Dent. Hello. There you go. No way you're watching. No, I opened my phone up and I was watching TikToks. Chat, what's like the longest you've gone but watching one, like just TikToks? Or what's the longest you've gone just on your phone watching TikTok? There you go. Are you fucking serious with me right now? Are you freaking serious with me right now, bro? Why? Yeah, no. I don't watch short form content. Really? Song's fire. Song is really good. You know, I'll play Battle Box. No, we gotta play Battle Box. Some Battle Box. You watch Booster, he's short. Oh, okay. Wow. That's crazy. Jack, that was like funny. And coming from you, it's, yo, what's the next game coming out? They're sure they're gonna make a new like Cole, right? Definitely should be some like a PvP one next, right? I mean, they added that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what. I would say survival games are pretty sick. It's so true. So true. Wait, I think Chan. Oh, it's my turn. I think I was supposed to be in a practice today. Still coping for parkour tech soon? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know about parkour tag. I don't know about all that. It would be pretty nice though. I'll link the video right now, Jack. Jack, I will literally link the video right now. Chat, I'm not in it. It's, dude, I'm leaking it, Jack. Oh no. Nice. Okay. Where is he? Nice. GG's. Pull it in. Nice. I'm not going skydiving. That's true. Oh, right. Knocks you only. Yeah, you're actually right about that. Maybe I do a parkour tag. Maybe you're right. But they just added parkour though. I feel like. Yo. You sure? What we do? Nice. Bro was really AFK right here and then just lagged right here. Crazy. Who wins this? Oh, we just win, right? Because Purple loses. I still believe a YouTuber. Wait, I'll never believe a YouTuber again. Wait, why not? Wait, do you believe me or what? Nah. Surely you believe me, right? I've never lied in my life. Literally never lagged. I've never lied in my life. Smiley face. Why can't I hit them? Abuse. GG's. Oh my god, I'm trolling. Kidding. He can't. He's got brittle bones. What? I'm scared of heights. Yeah, I said it. I'm scared of heights. All right, dude. I mean, I'm not really afraid of heights. I mean, I'm afraid of. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Like, I'm fine during plane rides, but I just know, like, I don't know. I just hate, like, Qndres is shy. Protect him at all costs. Stop. Yeah, have you seen them? They're scary, literally. My arm hurts. Yo, Jose Jocelyn, thanks for the follow. Hello, welcome to the stream. Ba 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 da ba 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 ba. I want to play a mod pack again. That was fun. I want to play a mod pack. I want to play my like survival again. But it's like not even quick try. It's a thing. Hi, Joss. Wait, so it is Jocelyn. At first I thought it was like Jose, but I was like, no, it can't be Jose if it's like Lynn in there. I was like, oh, Jocelyn, easy. Shot him. He's killed him. Nice too. Oh no, GG's. It's Jocelyn. Oh, nice. W. Hi, Jocelyn. Welcome to the stream. Was I even recommended by any chance? I feel like I was. If I was, W. I'm really cold. My name is Qndres, and I'm just really, really cold. Yes, Jack, we get it, okay? You're gonna be uploading a video with... Shit. Yo, it's literally a 4v1. Yeah. Okay. Well, my team is GG's. Bro, like... Oh my god. Your mic recommended? Nice. Do you normally watch MCCI content? What do you normally watch? What did you say to start a common channel if none of them post in your own channel? It's true. And Jack just made it. Jack just... Yeah, Jack that I was... I don't know. Jack just made it. That's literally it. Sometimes there's a clock here that moves. Wait, is it actually 2? It's 1 o'clock. That's time is wrong. Yeah, Jack just made it. No, it's yeah. Well, yeah, Jack made it. Yeah, so it's his channel. Yeah, basically. No, I did not ask you to make it, Jack. I literally just said I'm fine with you making it. Stop gaslighting me, Jack. You made it. Jack's gaslighting me. It is a W channel. Jack, you literally who made it though, Jack? Who made it? Who made it? Exactly. Well, how's your day today, Jocelyn? Why am I this kit? Whatever, it's fine. The flank. W. Nice. You literally in DMs. Everyone has the email and password. No, Jack. But who made the channel? Chat. If someone makes a YouTube channel, whose YouTube channel is it? The person who made it, right? Monkey. Oh, nice. I'm going to the gym later at night. I'm dead. I'm dead. Okay. My team wins this though. My team's cracked, right? Yep, 1. Nice. This Fuzzy guy is good. Oh my god. Oh my god. W team? Oh no. Wait, just kill this guy behind you guys. Oh no. Yep, he just goes in for a clean. Wait. Wait, what? Bro, what? Huh? Okay. Who's like one of the streamers that you watch, Jocelyn? I'm not a gaslighter. Jack, you're a liar. And yeah, you're just a liar. Once everyone uploads, we'll start uploading ourselves. I just like, how does that happen? Does someone have heals? Okay. One. Nice. Well, that's just green team dead. We just lost this because, yeah, we just lost this. Unless red somehow clutches up and wins, I think we have a chance of winning. Wait, no, we win. Wait, red wins, right? Wait, is red versus blue? Wait. The burger skin. Please, everyone just focus up. Please just win. Please. Stay alive for 15 seconds, please. Wait, why do they fill that in? Oh my God. 7, 6, 3, 2. We win this, right? No, we lost. Rip. I watched Dream and Bob Blue and Soar. Ooh, that. Okay, so you watch Bob Blue. That. Okay, cool. Mass Marvelous is crazy. Okay, I see. They just got 11 kills. Jesus. Qndres, stop feeding, bro. Come play, Bob Blue. Oh. Right. Jack, why don't you just ask on Twitter, bro? Don't ask in my chat, bro. Asking my chat is like, ask on Twitter. Everyone for Color Chris is not in my chat, bro. We already played Faz. Wait, Mojang is not adding a mob anymore? Huh? I'm confused. I thought, what? Wait, I have 20 arrows. That's supposed to happen? Oh, never mind. Like, what? You manifested? Literally, you did. That's crazy. You literally said you watched Bob and just here. All right. What to do, chat? What do I do? Chat, what else is there besides MCCI to stream? How long have I been live for? I only been live for like an hour, right? Like an hour 15? There's no UHC. I could low-key... No, UHC is just a bunch of sweats now. I don't even know. I don't even think there is a UHC at this time anymore. Yeah, there's not. Actually, there is. Should I play it? Chat, should I play UHC? 1.8 UHC. Or we could play Manhunt low-key. What's up, Connor? We could play Manhunt low-key. We do Manhunt? You should VC the group chat. Jack, it's just gonna be you, bro. I'm not gonna... Jack, if you want to VC, bro. No. I hate Jack. Everyone in my chat hates Jack. I could low-key do a Manhunt. Don't become Stu 2.0? Okay, but I won't play it. I'll play Manhunt. How about that? I think Manhunt's better than UHC, right? Party. Shout twitch.tv/OG Qndres doing live Manhunt now. I bet. We'll do one Manhunt. I need one person, please. chatting one person, and I'll slowly start adding everyone to the game. Just because, okay, listen. What I'll do is I'll do this, right? Just so there's actual like competitiveness, I guess, to this UHC for me. I'm gonna have one person hunt me down for the first 5 minutes, and then after that, I'll start adding everyone. But I'm not gonna have any grace time. The person's gonna be on me 24/7 for the first like 5. All right. For the first 5 minutes, it'll just be me versus one hunter, and then at the because obviously I feel like after 5, my hunter gets really bored. So I'll start adding everyone in. Sound good? All right, cool. I'll have Compro first because Compro did give me his AGN really quick. I got you, Compro. And then party open, I believe. Actually, no, party close. Party open again. How do I close my party though? Hold on. Hold on. I forgot. Okay. Let me do this real quick. Okay, participant, party. There we go, like that. And then I'll open it once I'm like after 5 minutes. Okay, cool. Let me change my title. Wait, mods, can you guys change them to title to like, I don't know, something with like Manhunt or something? Something Manhunt related. Okay, and then we'll go here. Wait, what is that? Okay, wait. I don't have any research pack, do I? Oh, I leaked it. I just leaked my next Manhunt. Oh my fucking god. Qndres. Okay. Party. Manhunt. Okay, well. Player settings. Go, make sure that, okay, disable piglin brutes, increase luck. All right, that's it. All right, Compro, you have to lead the first 5 minutes of being a hunter, okay? So everyone in chat, make sure Compro doesn't die or doesn't, lose me. I gotta put some extra speed on it because I'll get faster at this. This is the one. No. I don't even know. Okay. Cool. Good luck. If I win this, everyone Twitch Primes in chat. Cool. No, after 5 minutes, you get more hunters. All right, 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. And take damage. Compro, don't do it, Compro. Yes. Oi. Okay. Okay. What? Okay, he's probably getting wood tools right now. Unless he lost me. Okay. Please. Compro, where you at, bro? Oh, he got Stone Age. Uh-oh, this is not good. Okay. Chat, can someone let me know when it's been 5 minutes? Okay. Okay, just let me know. Just let me know. I can't see. I'm sweating right now. I'm sweating. Okay, good prediction. W prediction. Okay. Wait, this is actually low-key really fun. Hi, Chan. Diggity dog. I love you. Hello, how are you, Chan? Okay. No. Oh, W song. Please. Okay. Sure can. I need that. Okay. Is that a shipwreck? That's not a shipwreck. I'm blind. How's your day today, Chan? Okay. Cow? Cool. No cows. More cows for food. Chat, that's fair, right, chat? I'm not like... It's like, that's definitely fair that one person's on me already. Just so I don't have to, like, grace period anyone. Peace out, Choke Milk. Peace out. I hope, yeah, I hope to see you there too. Adios. It's 100% fair. 1,000,000% fair. Because if not, you guys just be waiting for 100 seconds and it's like, it's boring because I can just keep running. Yeah, there's 1 minute left. 1 minute left. 1 minute left. It's 1.20. 1.20 DH4. Yo, Dizzy, thanks for the raid. How was your stream, Dizzy? Hi, Dizzy. I am sweating. Not really, but you know, I'm sweating. Is that Igloo up there? Yeah, I'm tripping. Tripping. Play Phasmo? W Phasmo. Thank you for shouting Dizzy out. Okay, 20 seconds left. By the way, if you guys want to join 1.20, mcmanhunt.com. Okay. How to join? How to join? Wait, I just said it. I might just go to the water, get some iron there. Yep. Party open. All right. Everyone, party join Qndres. Add to game. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Not too many hunters yet. Okay. Well. Okay. Kind of jinxing it right now. Surely no more, right? Oh. Oh my goodness. Actually lucky. Alright, go on, please. Hello, can I pick that up? By the way, no bed bombing. If you bed bomb, banned. Kicking for the game. Oh my god, no. Hello? Hello? Chat, we're trolling, right? Yeah, we're doing it. Thanks for the alert, Dizzy. Appreciate you. Again, thanks for the raid. Okay. Is anyone else join the party? We're good. If you join the party, let me know in chat, please. 600 right now. Need one more diamond. Low-key, actually, hold up. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. If we did this on Saturday, so many people would join. But I okay don't want too many people to join because I'm just gonna get freaking targeted by 30 people. I mean, it's Manhunt. What am I saying? I'm supposed to be getting targeted. There's only one hunter. I'm one runner. Can you get wood here? Need a lot wood. Yeah, no targeting Qndres in my own Manhunt. Chan, if I win this, you got to I don't know. I'll do whatever you want me to. Oh my god, Compro's here. And here's to his bed though. Fuck. You know what? I cannot be here. I forgot. They just set a bed here. It's really bad. I gotta go. I gotta go somewhere. I know exactly where to go. Is that to set the texture pack and it enemy do shit? Wait, relog and make sure you're 1.20. Relog and make sure you're 1.20. I've been doing good, Mr. Scope. How are you? Keep trying. Keep trying. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Just keep trying. Okay. Damn, people have beds ready. Perfect. A cave. Okay. Just to make sure. Okay, good. Also do this again. I probably didn't party join. Oh no. Okay. It's fine. Oh, Soul's here. Are you? Is he? Please don't die. Oh! Yo. Oh my god. I'm on neither. Essentials. Fabric. Yep, I am also reading chat. I know. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty good at this game. Yo. Wait. Give me iron. Give me iron. Give me iron. I need iron. Hold up. Okay. Hold on. I can do this too. I'm a bozo head. Okay. I need lapis. Okay. Me keep going. Look for lapis. Maybe get some gold boots going. I don't. Bro, there's lapis up there, but should there could be like some sort. It's like. Okay, so they're trying to come down here too. I just missed diamonds. Like, hello? That's it's good. Okay. New favorite Minecrafter. Hey, come on in. Come on in. I just missed more iron. Oh, lapis here. Perfect. Oh, and diamonds. Okay. More diamonds there. You know what? We do this. Yo, Neffy, the tier 1. Thank you so much, Neffy. Neffy, you're a W.
It's Neffy just subscribed. Smile.
Hello, Neffy. Thank you for the tier 1. Oh, wait. Where am I going? Okay, so the plan is simple. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay. I don't need that. Actually, yes, I do need that. Yeah. What else? Dude, why was there knocking in my ear? Yo. Wait, someone actually knocked my door? Yo. Yo, what are the chances that I get enchants this early? Super low now. I get a freaking... Alright, let's get anvil now. I probably should... Wait, why do I have doors on me? Oh, because Compa tried doing some crazy movements. Okay. It's fine. Okay. I am a menace, and I will win. Okay. Well. Need a lava pool. Keep wasting iron. I probably should stop doing that. Sorry, I keep wasting wood, not iron. I need iron. Maybe this guy can drop me something good, maybe. Okay, I'll take one string, that's chill. Yeah, I need lava. I also need, you know what I need? Flint. Oh, just diamonds chilling here. Okay. Are they? More? Okay. Little 5 in going? Little 5 action? Wait, add to game. Wait, what? Wait, DH4, you're not in the game? Oh, yeah. Did I already add you? No, you're not in the game. Wait, can you relog again, DH4? I can't add you to the games for some reason. If you're here still, just leave and come back and I can add you to the game. You know what? Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. I got a flint. Okay. Oh, there's more cave this way. I'm tripping. Never mind. There's not. Yo, where is that cave I went down earlier? What's right here? Missed that memo G. Nice, dude. Some lava down here, maybe? Oh, yes. That works. That works perfectly fine. There we go. Perfect. I can throw some stuff out. All right. Okay. We're chilling, we're chilling, we're chilling, we're chilling, we're chilling, we're chilling, we're chilling. Oh my. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe get blaze rods early here. Oh, another? Nope. Isaac, hello. Doing good, man. Doing good. Doing good. I'm kind of sweating right now. In this manhunt. I'm a little toxic, but it's fine. Bro. Yeah, is this like a triple? Wait, what? How many fortresses is there here? Fortresses. How many fortresses is there? Yo, Garfield. Yo, Garfield, like my training? I'm training for Saturday, bro. This is my training. This is crazy training. And not one game will be about speedrunning. Let's go. Actually, bingo, but bingo's really fun. I like bingo. Ballistic bingo. What's up, boy? Alaska. Yes, I am winning. 100% winning bingo. We're winning every single game. We're winning every game. Guess what, Qndres? I don't know. What? Are you? I don't know. What's happening? What's good? Is that a bait? Did my blaze rod go down there? Am I tripping out? Oh, that's not my blaze rod. It's been a year and a month. Wait, W. And here's to like more years. I'm so old. Help. 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 All right. Perfect. Oh, someone, they're coming another. They're coming another. What's happening Saturday? There's an event Saturday. A Minecraft event that I'm teaming with people with. And it's this Saturday. Yeah, we're winning Ballistic Bingo. We're also gonna win it in choice. What is it? Chamber? Choice of chamber? No. What is it called? Chamber. Yeah, that's the one. We're winning every single game. Yeah, it's called MC Mayhem. And yeah, I'll be in there. I'm teaming with some guy named Smellies, Greninja, Wolf Eye, and O Garfield. Garfault. I love Greninja. I hate him. Wolf Eye. Yep, Wolf Eye. Wolf E and I. Bet. Jocelyn bet. Okay. Nope. They're gonna pickaxe. Is there another? No one's another yet. I'm chilling. True. El Greninja. I hate Greninja. Not even a friend. He's a foe. It's down. Wait, what are you guys doing? Are you on Nether? Wait, I think some of you guys are Nether, but it didn't pop up. You guys are Nether. Please help. Help! What? I don't have a pickaxe. I want Chipotle. I want so many things. Okay. Bam. Venu just got an iron pickaxe. That's not good. Okay. I think we're chilling on this much bread. Okay. Okay, nice. Gable Moore is in Nether. I'm literally walking on fire right now. All right. All right, let's go. 9. Yeah, we're good. I think there's also like 30 million fortresses in this seed for some reason. Oh, 5 nice subs. We're 2 force iron. You know, on YouTube, every time I do Manhunt on my YouTube, I'll be like, yo, yeah, 20 bucks, and I'll take off all my iron pieces and throw it away for 20 bucks, bro. Someone came in 40 and was like, burn everything. Yo. Actual fiend. Oh. I can't. Am I dumb or am I dumb? Yeah, but I'm trying to win the Manhunt, bruh. Does that offer still stand? Dude! Dude. Okay. Wait, I'm panicking. Wait. I'll tell you like in... I'll pay you $100 to grow hair. All right. Okay. Yeah, I will tell you. Yeah, Joker. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, and yeah, but like I don't know. You know, please, if you drop pearls, I'll go bald. Venu, you're sweating. Venu, you're sweating. Venu, you're sweating. No, no. I'm telling you, save your money. Save your money. I'm doing another one of those challenges where I can't. I won't. I just. I thought it was a mission. Basically, it's be a subathon, but like my twist. So it's like I'm in a survival world that I cannot sleep until I beat Minecraft. Yep. Yep, I know. I'm guessing it'd be like a weekish. 2 weeks maybe. Nah, honestly, I don't even know. No, it won't be a year. I'm making sure this time that everything is balanced, okay? Because channel points killed me last time. Actually, and also the crazy amount of just of bitches going everywhere. But I'm gonna code it myself. It's like, oh my god, please do not touch me, gas. Thank you. That's enough, right? I'm so good at this game. It's crazy. Hopefully my hunters are not coming after me. Wait, let me actually shout. Doing live Manhunt. Twitch.tv/OG Qndres. Come hunt me. Party. Join Qndres. There you go. So more people can join from the lobby. There'll be like more hunters now. I think y'all need help. Okay. Oh, there we go. Ready. Or at the game. There you go. Chat, what's like the common place for a week-long stream? It could be 2 weeks. It could be all of October. I don't know yet. Okay. Oi, 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 bruv. Okay. Oi. No, no. I'll beat Minecraft. Trust. And trust. I'll beat it. Someone, certainly there's like one person that loves me a lot that would just like give me pearls to finish the game, right? Surely. Hello, Atomics. Yep. This battle makes my eyes like L. Oh my god. I need a Bastion ASAP. Need a Bastion. Wait, I could just... Okay. Okay. I love talking to famous people. What do you mean? Who's famous around here? What did I miss, by the way? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. We finished MCCI, so now I'm gonna just practice my movement / PvP all together in a manhunt on Twitch. YouTube didn't beat me yesterday, and I don't think Twitch will beat me today. Here. Ow. I think the Bastion's gonna be the scary part because that's where I take the most time. Half my setups at school. Else I join. Spawn a wither on you. Yo. Why is there another one of these things, bro? Why is there another fort? I need another Bastion, bro. Look, you need food as well, though. I've never actually beaten the game. I beat the game multiple times. I'm just too good. Let's get this bread. Okay. Meow, 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 meow. Please, if you give me a batch in the next like 5 minutes, I don't know what I'll do, bro. Please, anything, bro. And a pearl, though. In the boat. Okay, or don't give me anything at all. That works. I probably will for a video. Wait, probably what? Wait, what? Fades up. There you go. Or Andy was just vibing. It's all good though. It's all good. Oh, that would have been not so good of my to do. What am I doing? Oh my god, this game's trying to kill me. Oi. Can we get another end update? This, I mean, sorry, another nether update. This nether sucks. Have you ever been to Sweden? No, I haven't. But I want to go to Norway. I want to meet one of my friends there. Also an end update, an overworld update, and also an ocean update, and a everything update. Wait, why can't they just do an everything update? Thoughts? That'd be a pretty good update. The everything update. Imagine. No, they probably. I don't even know what the theme of the this next update will be. Yeah, why don't they just call it the update? That's it. Patch notes. Yo, there is no freaking Bastion, bro. A Skulk dimension? That'd be pretty cool. Another boss battle. Chad, do y'all think there should be another boss beside the dragon? I think there should be more content. No, a lot more content. After the dragon, there's like a second boss you had to beat, and actually make the dragon egg useful, not just like a trophy. Right? Like the Wither, the Warden, like those are just small bosses, right? I feel like something bigger than just a dragon. A freaking Cyclops with 3 heads on it. No, well, I mean that's already. I mean, I don't know. Oh, look at this chat. Look at this chat. Look at this chat. Meow, 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 meow. I did say I was gonna meow for the next 5 minutes. I'm not gonna do it. What am I doing? Okay. There should be one here too, right? I got scared. Wait a minute. What batch? What's Bastion is this? Is this? Oh yeah, saying yo just says you hi back. Oi, 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 oi. What do I throw away? I don't need crossbow. I need the crossbow for some reason. Ew. Wrong turn. Thanks for the follow, Caleb. Appreciate it, Caleb. Shout out Caleb for the follow. What's up, Caleb? Stable, that's the one. Yeah, horse. Horse stables, horse stables, horse stables, yeah. Yeah. Don't hit me, bro. That's mean. Bro. I loot like my grandpa, bro. Bro, why are you hitting me for? Oh. I don't know how to loot bastions. Chat, how do I loot bastions? Where's the gold at? Me dumb. Is there like no gold here? I think there's a room of gold in the center-ish. Oh yes, the center. Oh yes, the center. Oh no. I lived in Norway for a year. That's why I want to go. I want to just travel the world. Soon TM, soon TM. Someone's here, someone's here, someone's here, someone's here, someone's here, someone's here, someone's here. Banu. Oh no. Oh, no way. Dude, I didn't have blocks in my inventory. Yo, how'd y'all find me, bro? Yo, I threw. I had no blocks. Yo, where did I waste all my blocks from? That person is so skilled. Yo, what the? Yo, I had no blocks, bro. Literally, I cannot like just find any blocks at all. GG's though. Damn, I had notches. GG's though. GG's. All right. Well, chat. I think that's it for me, low key. I want to eat food because I'm hungry. I ate eggs this morning. That's all I ate for. I ate eggs and ham, but I want some food. I want some good food in me now before the gym time. Is that? I'll be back tomorrow though. I'll 100% be back tomorrow. Do y'all want to watch a movie tonight on Discord? Kind of want to watch. I think there was a movie that I saw yesterday. What was it? It's free on YouTube. We can probably watch it. We'll see. I know. I feel horrible. 17,000. Yeah, let me just end stream now before. It's just because. Have you not slept yet, Soul? Or did you just wake up? Cool stream. Thank you guys. Yeah, I'm definitely back tomorrow for another stream. Thank you guys all for being here, though. Thank you guys literally all for being here. What's a good song to end off the stream with? The best song in the world. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go get some food, get some stuff in me. Hey, yo. Okay. Yeah. All right. Chat. Thank you guys for watching. I will be back tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Okay. I'm gonna look for someone to raid. So just stay for the raid, please. Thanks. Stay for the raid. Oh, I don't. Ooh. Okay. And of course, we have a freaking ad. I have an ad. All right, chat. See y'all later. I found someone I can raid. Okay. Chat. Love y'all. Good night. Actually, it's not even night. What am I saying, bro? It's literally. What time is it? So 1:51. Yeah, we're good. All right. Bye, everyone. Adios. Take care. Sleep well. Eat food, and drink water. And yeah. Bye, everyone. I'm probably gonna let the raid go by itself. Oh, this song is too good, bro. Might play like a match of Valorant, low-key. I haven't played it in a long time. I don't know what I will do after this. I know I don't want to go get my food now. I mean, I could go get my food now. Check out. I haven't got food now. I'm gonna go drive there. I gotta stop being lazy. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye. Oh, this song's amazing, bro. This song is too good. Too good. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. PST, by the way. I forgot to tell you time. 11 a.m. PST, most likely. Oh, that's... Okay, yeah. I have a lot of stuff to do tonight, actually. Shit. I go to the gym. All right. All right, chat. Bye. Bye. The song makes me want to cry. I love the Killers, though. All right. Bye. 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace out, Girl Scouts.